So this morning, I thought I'd do a story, or actually it's going to be a video reply to SaltyShellback, to Oscar. He did a video a while back on how to make a emergency whistle out of a piece of plastic. I told him I was a kid, we used to make whistles out of a piece of grass. I don't think he believed me. It's a long time ago. Hard to believe. It was like 50 years ago. 7th grade. Maybe less, a little more, I don't know. 50 years. That's older than stuff I have in my refrigerator. So, yeah. We would go to school. North Miami Junior High, 7th grade.
Continue on Sunrise Lakes Boulevard.
Coach Swettman. Coach Swettman. That was a good name for a coach. It was really weird that year. A lot of times we wouldn't do anything. I don't know if they had an insurance problem. In wood shop, we didn't do anything for the whole year. We sat in our butts and read out of the book. They would let us use a drill and a sander, but nothing with a cutting tool. And for some reason, like there was a couple of months when phys ed, we just sat on the ground and we were bored out of our minds. I remember one day I took a piece of grass and I made a whistle out of it with my fingers, my thumbs. You put the grass between your thumb. When I was a kid, my thumbs were kind of narrow, but now they're kind of fat. It's going to be harder to do. But I made a whistle out of the grass, and I did it once, and the kids started laughing. And that's all I needed. If somebody would laugh, I would just run with it. And so I started making more and more whistles, and Coach came by, and Coach Swettman, he had a whistle.
Turn right at the traffic light, then take the first right.
We're going to turn you off. So Coach came up behind me with his whistle, had like a lanyard on it, like he slapped it on my neck. Back then, coaches could do stuff like that. Now everything's politically correct. Back then, PC meant you need to do some push-ups and chin-ups. He would always get mad at us, and we'd have to do laps. We had a couple of kids, Andy and Wayne. Andy Storm and Wayne DiMaterco. They were like peas in a pod, oil and water. They would just come together and they would just be trouble. He would make them do laps, and they would run around the track, and when they got to us, they would hold their hand and start skipping and laughing and saying, "Hey, Coach, hi, Coach." So Coach wouldn't make them do laps anymore. He'd make them do chin-ups and push-ups. Andy and Wayne, we would have to do wrestling, and they would do pretend they were in Florida wrestling. Back then, we didn't have cable TV. We just got UHF. It was brand new. Before that, we had 3 channels and then public TV. So when we got UHF, we got all these new things. We could watch professional Florida wrestling with Gordon Sully and the Missouri Mauler and the Great Malenko, which was my favorite. And anyway, Wayne and Andy, when it was their turn to go wrestling, they would do all these crazy things, and I would start narrating. I'll be like Gordon Sully. "Oh no, pandemonium! Friends here at the stadium at Fort Myers." I don't remember whatever it was. They would film out of some dinky town in the west coast of Florida. And oh, he's got the sleeper hold. He's got the sleeper hold. Oh no, ladies and gentlemen, turn the camera away. So Coach would get mad when Andy and Wayne would wrestle. And figure 4 deathlock. But I think he kind of enjoyed it too. But yeah, Coach, we would kind of hard to. He was kind of scary, you know. He had been in the war. He was a ball turret gunner in a bomber over Germany. He didn't give a crap. So he was kind of hard to. You couldn't rattle him. One time, Wayne. Oh God, Wayne. We were hoping he wouldn't do it. We didn't know he was going to do it, but once he started, we knew what he was doing. At least I did. He was asking. We were sitting in the bleachers. We weren't doing anything because we couldn't, for some reason, we weren't allowed to do any exercises or sports or soccer or football or basketball or nothing. They would just sit. I don't know what was wrong that year. I don't remember. But so here we were sitting, and I bored out of our mind. And Wayne would go like, "Coach, you're a good fisherman, right?" And Coach would grunt, "Yeah." I said, "You probably know a lot about fishing, don't you?" And he's, "Yeah." "Coach, you know all about bait. You're probably the best fisherman there is. And if you really know a lot about bait, that would make you like a master baiter." Well, Wayne was looking around like he was hoping somebody would laugh or something, and we were just scared to death. And like, Coach didn't like that at all. He said, "I think Wayne is still doing laps." Yeah. Coach Swettman. So there was that poem about the ball turret gunner. I don't know if I remember it or not. I remember the last part where they cleaned him out with the hose after he died in the ball turret 3 miles high. I wish I could remember it. I'll remember it. So it's getting time for me to try to blow that whistle. Yeah. I don't know why in wood shop they wouldn't let us do anything but sand or use a little drill. I remember there was, I don't know if it was Wayne or not, but it might have been. He had a belt sander and he was talking to somebody and he was just going back and forth with the belt sander, and he was sanding the cord on the belt sander, and he sanded the cord off. Coach got mad. I don't think I've ever seen him more mad. He tried to get mad at me because there was another shop earlier. For some reason, they were allowed to use the tools, and they had been using the wood lathe. And what they did is they left a lot of sawdust on the ground, so there was nothing to do. So he told us to sweep the floor. So I took the big, long-handled broom and I was sweeping it, and my hand went down over the top of some wood chisels that were sticking out of the wood press. And I just went down the wrong road. Well, this is as good a place as any. You want to take your thumbs to where they're like that, there's a space, but my fingers are fat. Then you take yourself a piece of grass. This is kind of dark. I hope it's going to show up in the video. Take you a piece of thin grass. We need some background music. That's pitiful. It was much higher. Squeaky noise when I was a kid. That's what she said. All right, well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this wonderful trip down memory lane with Wayne and Andy and Coach Swettman and Gordon Soley. Pandemonium. And Oscar, this video, such as it is for you. I've been impersonating all your interesting videos, and that would have been good in an emergency, I'm sure. If you were trying to call sick elk or something, or sheep with an upset stomach, that was not a good sound, but we did our best. Not enough. Do some laps, Moffett. The Death of the Ball Turret Gunner by Randall Jarrell. "6 miles from Earth, loosed from its dream of life, I woke to black flak and nightmare fighters. When I died, they washed me out of the turret with a hose. I salute you, Coach Swettman."